hello to my favorite friends and family all around the world. This is Debra Philibert, your host today. And I have my host, another host. So we're going to have two hosts today, but I'm not hosting. I'm going to tell you this for right now. I'm not hosting. Phyllis is going to be hosting. She's going to be asking me a lot of questions about my trip when I went to Africa. And you guys knew I went to Africa for a month. So she's going to be the host today, asking me all the questions. But we came on together, and so that you can see who Phyllis is. This is Phyllis Newton. We've been friends for the last 14 years, and she's like my sister, and sister from another mother.
From another.
Right. So, and I'm so welcome and thank you today for taking that challenge and coming to help me with the show, like interviewing me. So sometimes now I want to be on the other end to see how my guest feels like when they come onto the show. So again, remember, we are on like 50 states, and we around the world, I can say, because as I look at it, when I was in Africa, people were looking at the show. Someone say we're around the world. We are also on Amazon, Roku. We are on Facebook Live, guys. Just remember, go onto Facebook, share it with your friends. Share. Get your friends to share, because today is going to be such an interesting topic. You want to hear the tea from Africa. Okay, so just go on live and also go on YouTube. We are streaming live on YouTube. If you you can't get on Facebook, we are streaming live on YouTube. Also I want to thank every one of you every week. When I go back in the feeds and I see the comments that you guys made, and that's so great for the guests. It make them feel that you value what they're saying, and at least you take in that, and whatever they get topics they give you, they speak about, you taking that to you, taking it with you as you go every day. So I'm so grateful for that, and thank you. Continue to leave comments, because our guests love it when you leave comments. That makes them too, and it doesn't, whatever comment you make, it doesn't matter. It's just that feedback. Just like you, if you do something, you want someone to give you feedback. So just continue giving feedbacks. And again, if I can, you can. It's a global talk show. It's the thing about no matter what challenges you go in life. Like I had a challenge in my life. I went through it. It took me years to come through that challenge. But today I am successful in everything, in businesses. I'm a mom who raised 3 beautiful kids, and all successful in their right. So no matter what you go through, you can still achieve it. So if I can, you can. It's like whatever you came through, from where you came from to where you are today. Wherever you came from, you are today. And just that's what we're going to be talking about. My trip is going to be where I came when I went to Africa, which was something on my mind for years. 4 years that I wanted to do that trip. But it happened in 2021. And I'm so grateful that I was able to do it. Okay. And I'm going to let Phyllis say a little bit about her. And after she's finished, we're going to go to a quick commercial break.
Hi, friends and family. My name is Phyllis, as Debra has already stated. I hail all the way from Bahamas, the beautiful island of Bahamas. I have 3 children. I have 5 grandkids. Unbelievable, right? Sometimes I wonder where did they came from. But yes, and I'm a travel agent. I'm on the board of the nonprofit for Debra, and we've been friends for 15 years. So we really are sisters, not by blood, but we are sisters from another mother. Okay. Yeah. So that is who I am. I don't like to talk too much about me, because it's not about me. I am here this evening to ask Debra some questions about what happening, as she was on her mission. So stay tuned, and you're gonna find out all the hot stuff, what happened with her in Africa. So we'll take a commercial break at this time.
Okay, welcome back. Welcome back. And remember, I hope you guys went on and share, right? Because let's have all the tea for you. I'm just asking you to share because I want to spill the tea. If you don't share, I'm not going to spell it. So just continue, just go on and share. Share it with your friends, share it with your family, because I know you want to know what happened in Africa and what we will continue to do in Africa. So, Phyllis, I am going to hand over the baton to you as my host today. And, I'm going to say, okay, we co-host today,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And so I leave the baton on to you so you can start asking the questions.
Okay, thank you, Deborah. Thank you, because we are both hosting the show today. And before I get started with the first question, it seems like I was in Africa with her because I spoke with her almost every day and find out exactly what she's doing. But for you all to find out exactly what happened there, and I am sure I will find out some new information also. So the first question I'm going to ask Deborah today, because I wrote out a list of questions that I wanted to ask her. The first one I wrote out was, what was your favorite part about your host country?
Wow. I have so many favorite parts. Remember, it's a month, right?
Yes.
So it was so many. And it was a joy and privilege. And I say thank to God that I got that opportunity to visit Benin and Africa, two countries in one month. And my favorite part was the first one. That's one, okay, guys? You have so many favorite parts. The first one is when after 30 hours flight, and landed in the airport like 1 o'clock in the morning. We had people I didn't know. I knew some. I knew like two people, like a priest who I knew. He was there cheering me on, and one of my friend's mom. But the other people I didn't know, and it's how they welcomed me into their country. They welcomed me like they took my bags. They just like hugged me, kissed me. It was like whoa. But that made me feel like welcome. And when they drove off in the car, they never said where they were going because they speak French, okay? I don't speak French. And when I got to the guest house I was staying at, it was this big banquet. And I was like, wow. And it's like you just sit down and the food and the wine and the beers. And that was the favorite part of seeing that people I didn't know valued me and accepted me and treated me like I was that little princess. So that I felt like one. I was a princess that day, but I never believed in princesses. But that's one day I was like that little African prince that came back home. And I went back to that motherland that God wanted me to be. So that was one of my favorite when the welcome to Africa.
Good. Very good answer. And something I wanted to pull out of that answer that you gave, you said that you took your foot off when your foot hit Mother Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you all know, we Black people, we are all descendants of Africa.
Yeah,
So, for your feet to touch the motherland, and that is our motherland. We are from the islands. We are island girls.
yeah, we are.
So we were taken out of Africa and we were deposited on different Caribbean islands. So when they welcomed her, they just wanted her to know that, hey, you welcome home.
Yep.
So she was home.
That was one of the things they were like, welcome home. And I was like, home. But then looking back at it, some of the rituals, for one of the night when the first night when after some night, it was morning anyway. When I got into my room and I realized like I was home, it took me back to my childhood. Like growing up in the Caribbean, we didn't have water inside. We had outside water. We had outhouse, and it wasn't like now. I know now the country is much more developed. The first thing when they said, "Oh, we don't have water," but you know what? We have a bucket of water you can take a shower with. I'm like, God, you have a sense of humor.
Yeah.
What are you taking me to? Back to my childhood. And that was something that, yes, that is going back to the motherland, going back to the Mother Earth. And another thing is like I went on a walk with some of the members and from one of the churches I visited, and I saw them walking, no shoes on, and I'm like, I cannot do that. They said, take your shoes off, and I'm like, no, I can't take that shoes off. It's like, but, but. Couple days after, it dawned on me like I'm here. These people value me. They want me to be part of them, and I felt like I hurt their feelings. So I did it on my own to feel how they were feeling. And trust me, I cried, but I didn't cry for crying that it hurt. I cried to see that you walk in and you hit the earth because you say touch the ground, touch the earth, touch the dirt, touch the little prickly stuff that there, but they do that every day and they are happy. And God, when God was this earth, he didn't have shoes or anything. So for me, when I did it, that made me feel like I was part of Africa. I was part of the community. I was part of it. And they welcomed it when I did it. They were like, yes. So that's me when I welcome it. So that's two, another favorite part. The motherland, walking, no shoes on, bare feet. It was more than what, 4 or 5 miles.
Yes, and what I got out of that. That meant with her doing that, it meant that she was walking like them. She was in their shoe, so she was not that she was high and mighty, but she was able to do what they can do, and they appreciate that. I'm sure they did.
They did. They had a feast for me again, though.
Okay, so our second question we will be asking Debra today is, what surprised you the most about the culture?
So much. There's so much different surprises. It's like a culture shock. And, this surprised me as a children. It's sad to see we live in America, and I told Phyllis this. We live in America. We have everything. I came from a country here. I didn't say I suffer. I have everything. And just going there, and when I look out my window, I can see the kids who should be in school with the trays on their head, going to the market to sell when they should be in school. The mothers with the baby on their back in the night markets when they should be home taking care of their family. The mud huts when you walk in and you see they have no beds on the dirt, on mats. Those are the things that surprise me. Those are the things that I'm hurting still today to see it's a country like that, and in the way how the world is now, and people are still living like that. Kids are not yet able to go to school because the parents can't afford it. So that's me. For me, my thing is always kids. I'm always say that I'm blessed that my grandparents raised me. But the thing about it is when I get out there and I see kids naked, no clothes, walking around with no shoes on, like dirt on their feet, it's that's. But I'm going back, and I'll be walking with them.
And as we can notice that Debra is tearing up because, you never know. Sometimes you look at camera and camera might take pictures of certain things, but camera doesn't do it justice. You have to actually be there to see it with your own eyes. And then you will know the hurt and what, and see exactly, say, oh my God, I have to do something. So this is what Debra did. She went there, she saw it, and this is her first mission trip. And I thank you, my sister, for going on this mission trip. And another question that I'm going to ask you, I don't want to expand because we might not be able to finish this interview here tonight.
It's going to be longer.
Yes, it will be longer. So I'm not going to say anything else about that part. So I want her to get her composure together. So because of this trip that you took, this mission trip, what do you think God is teaching you from your experience?
To be humble. It's one of the most things, to be humble, grateful for all that we have and share with whatever we have with anybody in the world, no matter who they are, no matter what it is, we share it. We share. Because it's so looking back, as you said that, going on that trip, it's not like I went with $1 million or I went with a whole, but out there, I had 3 square meals a day. I had people serving at my feet. I had people treating me like, as I said, royal. Every day I had translators walking with me, and I didn't have to pay a penny for it. And that's God, right? So why would I just take that and just go? So for me, be humble, share what it is I have with Africa, and go forward. He said, go forward and do the good. So for my goal is to go back to Africa and do some more work.
Very good. And that's one of the things that the Bible teaches, humility. When Jesus was here on earth, he was humble. He washed the feet of the disciple, a king.
Mm-hmm.
And so if we're going to walk in his shoe, that's what Debra did. She's walking in his shoe. I am walking in his shoe. And, it's important that we be humble and grateful for whatever God has given us, because the situation here is much more, 100 times better than some other country. That doesn't have to be Africa, it be some other country. So, we have to be humble and appreciative of what we have. So before I ask another question to Debra, find out some more scoop on Africa mission trip, we will take a commercial break. Okay. So So it's good coming back again, and I will be throwing some more questions at Debra. And stay tuned, family. Just listen to the information that she's given, her experience that she had in Africa, and gather your family around. This is a learning time. We all can learn from Debra's mission trip. So the next question that I'm going to ask Debra is, what are you going to do to remember this first mission trip of yours?
Feeling that school in Ghana. That's one of the things I always wanted to do. Well, the reason why I wanted to do that, and Father Anthony, I love you. It's like I met that priest a couple of years ago, and I always wondered. My grandparents, one of the things is that they couldn't read nor write. At the age of 15, I didn't realize that my mom is illiterate. And at that age, I'm like, I know I was a little rebel, okay, so don't worry. So when I realized that, I think that was my advantage. But when I got older, and you see, they made sure that myself and my sibling, had an education. They made sure that we strive for what we wanted in life. And they made sure to be first that we could be successful in what we want. But going to Ghana and going to Benin and seeing kids, it's always wanted to build a school in their honor and build a school so that people can see kids cannot stay without an education. And I always say it's not all the time that you have to have an education, like go to school, You could be a business person, anything from a young age. You can start your business from 5, from 10, from 12, whatever. Whatever their goals and dreams are, you can start. Because even though my grandmother wasn't couldn't read or write, every outfit we wore, she sewed it. Every meal we had, she made it. You know, I had an uncle who I did too. He made all shoes. So it doesn't matter if they can read or write, but if it's not everybody is going to get education. But the kids who want it, and for me during that trip in Ghana, what I realized that some kids are hungry for more, not just what they have, just for more. And their parents can't afford it. One little boy said, "You know what? Can you take me with you? My mom's going to sign the paper." That made me cry. It's like, "Your mom will sign the paper? I can't do that." He's like, "Yeah, you can talk to my mom. She's going to sign the paper. I could go with you. And I will be an architect. I want to be this big businessman." But that big businessman, but where he doesn't have, he's right here. He's right at the bottom, right? Because if you walk in their village and you see the schools they go into, it has no desks, right? Don't let me cry again. It has no it has no computers like what we have out here. It has no running water. It has no bathrooms. It has no toilets. You know. So the thing about it, yes, he has goals and dreams, but after he's finished school or whatever, how grade or sixth grade or whatever grade, they have nowhere else to go. But go to the field or go, but they want more. Or the young ladies just have babies. So if we can get them into a trade or something that they want, who wants to go further to educate themselves, be the doctors, because we need the doctors and the lawyers and stuff, and the teachers and the priests, we need them. And the ones who want to be domesticated, we can teach them to be self-sufficient in doing something to help them bring money in. So that's one of my goals, and that's one of the reasons why this mission trip is
Very good, Deborah. And that is true. We all have to have goals, and it can break our hearts to see, situations like that. But it should propel us to want to help and want to do more for others that cannot do for themselves. So one of the other things I'm going to ask Deborah, question I'm going to ask her: how has your worldview changed from this mission trip?
so much change. As I always say, grateful for what I have, grateful for my family, grateful for the friends I have in my life. My worldview change is that I could have everything out here, and somebody else could have nothing out there, and they still could love me, could still love them, and you treat them just like they're doing, because they're just like us. They walk around bare feet naked, love them just the same way. That's my view. Love everybody where they're at. Like here, some people you say, "Hey," in America, "Hey, you poor, you wear dirty clothes or tear up clothes or something like that," and people scorn you. Don't. Just go down. For me, I was like that. I would sit on the side of the street with that person at their level, just to make sure that they can see me. I'm not gonna go high. I want to be your face level. That's what I want.
And that is so true. We have to learn to get to the people's level. Not everybody, like they all, like you always know and see. We all have 5 fingers on one hand. They're all different sizes. So not everyone gonna be here or there. So you'll have them at different levels. And whatever level you meet people at, you should get to their level.
Mhm.
And so that's a very great answer, Deborah. So another one question that I want to ask you is to tell me or to tell our viewers about the people that you have met.
So many stuff. I met so many people. Trust me. Hey, shout out to Betty. Shout out to all my friends. Shout out to Mama.
Yeah.
Shout out to Papa. Shout out to Father. Shout out to the kids. I have a family in Africa. Like even when I was leaving, they all came to the airport. They was like, Twain. He still continue sending me texts, sending me every day. When are you coming back? It was a month. The people I met is amazing. It's not about what you have or how much you have.
Mhm.
The little they have, they share it with you. They make sure that even though they have a mango and you say, like, in the morning, I want a mango, they will bring that mango if it's their last one. So yeah, it's a family. I have a family of us there now, and I'm ready to go back and just hang out for a little longer so that I could do what I could do out there. But it's the people I meet. It's amazing to see people who have nothing. They treat you with the little they have, and I value that. I value that for the people. It's amazing. Try go visit, and you're gonna see for yourself. It's amazing. People who are poorer than me, they are richer in love. They are richer. To me, they are the millionaires of the world. And this is how I value the people who I met on my journey. And you guys know who you are. And if you're listening to this, I love you guys, and you know who you are. Um, just thank you guys for taking me in. Thank you guys for doing all what you did for me out there. That's, I'm not going to call names, but yeah, this is a family I have in Africa. Well, please, Ghana and Benin.
And with Deborah saying that, I have to thank you guys in Benin and in Ghana for taking care of my sister so well. Thank you. She wanted mango. You go to the tree and you pick a mango. If she wanted watermelon, she got the watermelon from the vine. So I thank you. I am forever indebted and grateful to you for taking care of her.
One of the things he said this, I was like, I remember one morning I woke up and like it's the bread and the eggs and stuff, and I said, I want plantain. And they didn't understand like plantains. I said, and I want it fried and I want it in the bread. And they were like, next morning I had my plantains with the bread, plantain on the side with my bread, and I scotch it together and I showed one of them, this is how I eat it. And it was like such a like, well, let me try it. And it was, we were like, someone was like, no, it tastes, it's like, whoa, it tastes good. So that was some of the things like you say you want it, they bring it for you, but they enjoyed it with you. They shared it with you. So that was one of the ones that plantain in the bed, guys try it, take your plantain, nice soft plantain, put it between your bread and you eat it.
And that is true because with them want to try that. What I have noticed, people that are less fortunate than we are, or than you are, whoever watching this talk show right now, they have lots of love to give. They are rich in love, and they will distribute that love. And what little they have, they are willing to share. And that's what I love with people like that. They're willing to share whatever they have. They might not have the fancy stuff, the riches, the money, the finances, but they have love and they share and break bread. Whatever they have, they'll break bread with you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just an amazing thing. And they are just some of the happiest people around. They might not have it, but they are very, very happy.
No, they are really happy. It's not, you don't see anybody sad. You see them walking around, no shoes on and stuff, but they are happy. It's not nothing to say. You see people swallowing and grief. Even when I went to church, speaking only French, and I was greeted just like if I was just one of them. So like the clothing I'm wearing, uh, they made it for me, just like that. It's not like hey, you have an outfit. You're African now, so it's just a pleasure to see how they give back, how they share whatever little they have. Any little they have, they would share it with you. So that's what we need to do in life, because here we have to stop that. So I have a house and I have all this, and I always say I can have the world of money, I can't take it with me. If God take me today or tomorrow, I can't take it with me. Or because I'm going to meet my father, I can't take it with me. All I'm taking is my soul. So and my body goes on to the earth. So whatever you have, don't to me, don't make it what do you call it? Like if you can say you hoarding it, but make it your idol.
Mm-hmm.
Don't make it your idol. It's not an idol. Anything I have, it's not an idol to me. The thing for me is just going out, helping someone else to give. Because I always say, one thing I always say, children are the future. These children are the future. They could be future presidents. They could be future doctors. They could be future nurse. They could be future missionary. They can be so much. But we just take time and help them. And because when we gone, at least we are growing successful.
Yes. And see that with Deborah talking that, and then I'm talking like, I've been on the trip, right? I haven't been. But the thing about it, Deborah's representing Africa. See, she's wearing her African attire right here. So she is representing Africa. I was not able to go on the trip because I not been on a new job less than a year. So that's why I was not able, but I am looking forward for this trip for next year.
Yeah.
So, it's going to be a phenomenal trip. And, we'll come back and we'll tell you guys everything else about it. But I haven't finished interview Deborah as yet. I have some more questions that I need to ask her.
Go ahead, girl.
I will.
Try out.
So another question that I want to ask you is, when you go back, what will you do differently?
Differently. I can talk about what I do differently. Because I always feel what I'm doing is what. Yeah. What will I do differently? I think I'm gonna do the same thing I do. I'm not gonna do anything differently because when I walk, the only thing I'll do differently, and I'll make sure this time when I go back, going back, one of the things to make sure that I have other people with me, especially the kids in camp. Make sure I get more donations out to the kids, more clothing or summer stuff that they can do. Reach out. Well, I'm already reaching out to a friend who has another nonprofit with a summer camp to see if we could take that summer camp to them out there in the summer. So they're not going to be just running around the street, but they can learn something, because in the summer, the kids doesn't have a summer camp. So that's the one different thing I would be doing, because this time was just my first time like visiting the summer camp for them. Another thing is having the water system. Having people to go with me to see what their water system is, what we can do with that. So that's all the little different things what I could do. But going back, I would go back and do just exactly what I walking in their shoes. I'm going to sit with them on the side of the streets. I'm going to walk with them. If I have to walk bare feet, I'm going to walk with it, because people say, you walk bare feet, you're going to get germs and you're going to get this and that. No. If I walk with them, they're going to understand and feel who I am and that I am one of them, and I am truly there for them. Because people go out there and they give them all the fluff and the stuff, but they don't sit with them. They don't walk with them. They don't play with them. Even the parents, you don't talk to them. Yes, they don't speak my language, but if I can show them, like I am doing just what you do, I'm planting my foot on the ground like you, hey, that's what I'm going to do. So different what I did, I'm going to continue doing that. But just take more things with me that I did this time.
Great. Yes. And, sometimes you can say, you can name a thing, one or two things that you would do differently. But as you heard it right from Deborah's mouth, that most of the things she wouldn't do any different. Just, one or two things that she would do differently. But I have another question that because I remember we spoke about it before the show started today, and she just laughed. Tell me one of your most memory or something that you have never seen before that you saw. You know where I'm coming from with this question. So tell us about, how it was just different for you with this particular thing.
Oh, my goat friend. Hey, my black goats from Africa. I love you guys. And the thing about it is, I never saw a black goat in my life. And I walked out I think we're coming from church or somewhere, and this black goat, and I'm like, hey, turn this car around. I need to see this black goat. I never saw a black goat in the mud, and I had to be taking these photos of this black goat. You guys see the people on our page eventually when I download all my thing. Even in Benning, that was the first time I saw the black goat. Every time I turn around, it's this black goat walking around. It's this black goat. So my thing in Africa, so now my thing is like, oh, here's a black goat. Take a picture.
So let me ask you a question with this black goat. Why did it tickle and why did it intrigue you so much about this particular goat?
Because I grew up in the islands with goats and pigs, and and my grandfather, they had like farms, and so yeah, that's why I don't eat meat today, because my chickens were my pets. My rabbits were the pets, and they killed it and eat it. The pigs were the pets, so I don't eat meat. But I never in my 61 years of life saw a black goat. I saw every other color, but not a black. And this black goat just walking around like they own the town. So I got to be like intrigued when they say it's a goat. I'm like, black goat? Yeah.
So there's another story with that. Deborah, she had told me about this story about when the animals, they are there, but you have to sort of.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I want her to share that with you.
So, oh, so I was driving, like, we went out and coming back, and I'm like, oh, it's a dog. Don't drive over the dog. The dog is going to, look the dog. And I'm like scared because this dog in the middle of the street. They're like, oh, don't worry. This dog is sleeping. You got to go around it. Go around the dog. I'm like, around the dog? I'm like, but it's in the middle of the street. You say, no, you got to go around. The dog is sleeping, and when I look back, Mr. Dog is up. It's like, shikes. It's like it was a dead dog. And same thing with the pigs, same thing with the chickens, same thing with the goats. It's the same thing. They walk and they own. One thing of that too, it was so funny that they said that every animal you see roaming all over, at the end of the day, they go right back to their family. They know where their family are.
Really?
Yeah. And I was like, oh, it was like, so if somebody killed that. No, I said, no, nobody kills it. This family, they go right back to their family.
Wow. So even the animal knows
where
they dwell.
Because they go out, they eat outside, this grass or whatever they eat, and they come back.
So have you while you were in Africa, have you went to their farms to see what they raise? Or where did you go to see, where they get their food from, or you never saw that?
I didn't. The thing about it is, at that time, I didn't get. But from what I understand, it's not like here, where you could go to a store and buy farm food or what. So the animals live of what they have on the land. The animals live from what the people that the owners have. So that's why you see them stray all over. And really and truly, animals don't really eat grains and stuff, because when we were growing up, we had no grains. They go outside, whatever grass from what outside, or any from your foods like your bananas and stuff like that. They will make that soft, and the animals will eat from that. So it's nothing like, so they roam, they eat, and they go back home. So they are grass-fed animals.
Okay, so it sounds like they're more organic.
Yeah,
everything is organic.
And eggs, like crazy. You have so much eggs you see in the family.
So, Deborah, can you tell us, or tell Facebook family and all those who are watching by live stream Imagine Me TV, tell us, what did they feed you? What type of food did you have?
So I had fufu, I had banana, I had what was that? Oh God, I can't call it, so many different names, but they all were ground foods like yams. I know there was one purple food, I can't remember the name because they're all in their dialect. But you know what? It tastes good. So if I wanted eggs in the morning, I had eggs. To make potatoes, I had. But a lot of their food are ground foods. It's like they take if it's the banana, they have it. I think I did show one on Facebook Live where they take it with the mortar and the stuff, and they mash it until it comes. So I had a lot of that all the time. I had rice. So it's their food are basic. It's not lavish foods, and they use a lot of fish. So, and one thing I love it was fresh fish every day, but they eat a lot. So I'm gonna tell you that they eat a lot. It's not like you eat that because it's ground foods. It's like, so it's not like I know every day I had, and for me I'm a picky eater, so I had basically the same thing almost every day. The things that I love. I know Mama made me a soup, and it had milk in it and different stuff like that, and carrots and milk. That one day was something different. She made that specially for me, and that was I loved it. I was like, oh, she's like, that's your dinner. It was a meal. And I was like, oh, okay.
So what did she make that soup from?
Okay.
Where did it come from? Yams
Yams and stuff.
or,
It's carrots and
cassava
stuff.
or
No.
yuca or what?
Well, they call it cassava in their country.
Yes.
They call it yuca. She made it from, I think it's carrots and pumpkin or something like that, and she just put it together. And I saw her like in the, with this little thing and beating it with a spoon and smashing it up and stuff. But it did. You see, she was making it in another space, and I was in, and she just brought it to say, "I have this for you, and this is what it have in it." So I didn't see her make it. Only her son said, or said, "Mommy's making you special dinner tonight." So that was, I had that. And it tastes good. It was really a nice little soup, vegetarian for me, and I loved it. So whatever she put in it, I love it. So it's not like I can see it. That's one of the thing. And one of the things too, when I love it, that we went looking at a piece of land for school, and I saw this lady. So we call it cassava in our country, and I know they call it yucca in different countries. And I said, "Oh my gosh, I haven't had this in a long while. You guys have this here." And the lady, she was going out, the woman, and she was going out to sell. She had a bag on her head with her stuff going to sell. She turned around, went back to her house, bought me a bag of yucca, cassavas, and I was like, wow. Father was like, what's this? This lady went back and bring you the cassava. It's like, yeah, we're gonna cook that tonight. So that's the kind of thing you go out there. It's like you say something, people just bring it. But I didn't know her, so that was the first and the last time I saw that person.
So even though they have little, whatever they have, they're willing to share.
They share.
That is so phenomenal.
Yeah.
That is so phenomenal. Yes.
Yeah.
And another question that I wanted to ask you, it's about your host, your house host. Yes. Tell us a little about her and her family, and where they live, and all of that. Give us
I did an interview with her, and I'll be putting it on live one day. It's just that I got to edit it and stuff like that. I did it with her, did it with her son. She's a phenomenal woman. She's a woman of God. She is like a mother to, even though I'm older, she's younger. But the thing about it, I look at her as a mom. So we call her mama in Africa. They call the woman mama. They're like the queens and so much I could say about her. But one thing that really struck me in the end, she has a pastry store. So she has we call it hotel, and they just building this hotel, the room. So I was like the first guest there, and so in that hotel, and she has a bakery downstairs. So that's where I get my breakfast, lunch, and dinner from every day. When I was leaving, and I was talking to somebody, and I was like, and in the interview, I said, so what I realized, you have a lot of kids, and I commend you for having kids around you who work in your bakery, who work in the kitchen and stuff. But one little boy came to me and he said, "I'm so happy. I'm not going to see you regularly because every morning he brings my breakfast for me. Or if I go downstairs to have breakfast, he's there baking, the fan is on." And he said, "I'm going to work in the kitchen." And I'm like, "You're going to say, yeah, I'm going to be the chef. I'm going to learn to be a chef." And I was like, "Okay, all right, that's good. I'm happy for that." And we still communicate today. And then that's what I understand. This woman is phenomenal. What she does is in Africa, they have a lot of bakery kids to give kids something that they can move on in life with. Kids who love pastry making or being a chef or stuff. What she does in her bakery, they have a school that teaches these kids how to be a chef, right? But they don't get a certification for that. So what the kids come, like after they reach a certain stage, she bring them to her establishment. She have them work and teach them how to be an entrepreneur, how to be a chef, how to cook their different pastries, how to sell. She just surround them with that business like. And at the end, when they graduate, fun part that I love is when they graduate, she give them a certificate that they can go anywhere in the world and make a living.
Wow.
And that's a woman. She is a queen to me. She is the everything. Mama, I call her Mama Helene. She is a phenomenal woman. And I didn't realize that until when I was leaving Africa.
Wow. So she didn't. There
She
was
doesn't.
no. She doesn't brag
She
about
don't
it,
brag about it.
and she doesn't talk about it. Only
No.
if it comes up,
Mhm.
she'll let you know. So it's amazing how they get in the community and they try to help and build one another up.
Mhm.
It is so good because they know they have to be the ones to help their people.
Yeah.
And so she is doing the best she can. And Mama, I thank you.
She is.
I thank you for everything. You are a phenomenal woman.
Yeah. Yes.
You are that woman that Proverbs 31 described. So you are that woman of wisdom, a woman of wealth, of worth. You are that woman. And thank you for what you were doing, even for your own community. And so you will always be blessed.
Mhm.
You will always be blessed. And I thank you for, yes, taking Deborah under your wings, and you and your son and all
Family,
the
the whole
others, the
family.
entire family. You
Whole family.
guys just took her under your wings, and you treat her like one of you guys. And we appreciate that. We really do appreciate that. And Deborah, I'm not finished with you yet, so I have maybe another question or two to ask you. So, Facebook, family and friend, continue. Stay tuned and just continue watching so I can tell Deborah exactly. Ask her these last two questions that I will have for her. So the next question I will have for her: which aspect of you did the mission change most?
Just within the mission to just my mindset. Mindset about
Mindset about what?
a mindset about how you value people or how you think about people in another country. Sometimes, it's not like I never went there. I never knew what Africa was. And when I got there, instead of first, yes, it was like a shock. It was a culture shock because I never walk around and see kids walking naked. One of the things I never see a man taking his penis and peeing on the street. So it's that when and it changed my mindset. It's like you live with what you have. No matter what little you have, you can still live with it. You can still be happy. And so that's my mindset. It's like whatever I have, make it so feel like $1 million.
Okay.
Just make it feel like $1 million because these people have nothing and it's $1 million to them. I still have a home. I still have family. I still could come home. I still have people who love me, no matter what. But some of these people, they don't have. One thing I didn't see much homeless people, which I was grateful about. But the thing about it is, they still love each other, no matter what they do. You see the kids running around. Another thing was one of this thing is like, so we went to this beach, is the Hideaway Beach, and it's a beach. It's beautiful, beautiful. I think I put up it with me on a rock. It's so beautiful. But one of the things that struck me that time on that beach, when I was walking, I came down, took my shoes off. So, guys, I started walking bare feet, okay? Took my shoes off and walking on the sand. My shoes super stayed up on the steps. And it was a village of men, young men, older men, pulling this boat in, this fisherman. It was a fisherman village. It's like pulling this boat in to shore. What struck me, and I sit up and listen, watch them. They were beating their drums. They were singing. They were in harmony. They were in unity. They were in. It's like a brotherhood, like coming in to help this other, pull this one boy, and they're like, "Come on!" And they're beating and they're singing. And then I stood there, and they stop. They walk around. They laugh. They talk. They take a drink. Go again. Pull, 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 and they beating and they singing, but everybody held that rope and pulling that boat in, pulling that boat in, pulling that boat in. Eventually they stopped, and then I crossed, and when I looked back, you know where that boat was? I was unsure. And I sit down and I said, I sit on that same little rock and walk in, and I was like, God, what are you showing me? When we all come together in unity, we all come together to help one another. We take our hands and we pull. We take our hands and we make sure, no matter how hard it is, because that boat, it was hard to come through. We come together. We will land on that shore. We will succeed in what we get. So that was a big takeaway for me when I saw that on that thing, walking the beach, looking at these men. And when I look back to say, I crossed and look back, and God is saying, look at it is done. So no matter how much we pull, how much struggles we have in life, eventually at the end we would win because they won
Yes. Because they came together.
together.
Yes. And that's what's so important. And then that could be the reason, like you stated earlier, you haven't seen a homeless person.
No.
Why there isn't homeless people there is because they help one another.
Mm-hmm.
They build one another. They make sure if someone
have
doesn't
food.
have, they share. Because I remember growing up on the islands also. That's what we did. I remember as a little girl, on Saturday, everybody, you bake bread, you bake, you have fried fish, and the men go out fishing, and they come back with the boat, and they have lobster, they have conchs, they have fish, and they share with the community. That's how it was in my day. I remember my mom, she would bake the bread or potato bread, and she said, "Here, go and take this down to this person, or take this loaf of bread down here." And that's what we did. And we had bread. We were giving away, but we had people coming in, the other kids bringing bread to us. Mm-hmm. And so that's how we live growing up, sharing. So sharing really is caring. Mm-hmm. Once you care for someone, you're going to share with that person.
And you come back looking at Africa, the thing about it is that's where, and I know I was doing a little research on Benin, and that's from the Caribbean. Yes. That's where they took the ancestors of French, took them as slavery, mm-hmm. for them to Haiti and a lot of the Caribbean islands. Mm-hmm. So when you look back, our ancestors came from either Benin or Ghana or someone or Nigeria. So you come in now and you go in and you're seeing them, and that's the same thing I grew up with. So we had like 5 acres of land, we had banana trees, we had everything. And so looking back, it's the same thing that my grandparents had, because their ancestors came and they taught them that, and they all give. My grandmother would always make sure that no child in our neighborhood stay hungry. Mm-hmm. What little we have, everybody come will always have a meal. Or if you don't have a place to stay, sleep on. I used to be mad at it, but now I realize, like, oh, look at me children in Africa who need food or need something or need clothes. Seen a little boy walking around, no clothes, and he was there playing and happy. And I'm like, little girls, boys wearing girls' underwear. It's no shoes on, just underwear. It's so that's what they say. We come together, we pull together, we help these communities, we help them, we help the children. The children are the future, not us. The children are the future.
Yes.
And so we go out there and we help them and we make them see, because when the next generation comes, they know. And it's so funny too, just talking about that. One of in the clinic in the Ghana's orphanage, one of the doctors who are there right now working came from the orphanage.
Wow.
The other orphanage, one of the girls this orphanage is separated in two because they don't have a place for the kids, but they pick the kids up on the streets. That orphanage, one of the young lady, after she got to go to college, she'd come back, she came back and helped the kids. And she has no parents. They pick her up on the side of the street, so she doesn't have no parents on.
Wow.
And so she's now going back to help those younger kids. That's in the orphanage. So, that's what we're about to do. That's what Joyful Hearts or Sacred Heart School and all these other stuff is for us, coming together as a community, as people to help these less fortunate. And you say, why not America? I still do in America too. We still help in America. We help in America with Joyful Hearts, helping minority kids to college. And pretty soon you're going to see the graduate from Joyful Hearts. But God didn't tell us to just keep it there, share it around the world.
And that is so true. That is so true. We have to, care for people, not only here in our homes, but we must love everyone. Mm-hmm. We must have a heart for everyone caring, is sharing, and whatever we have, whatever we can do. Um, we are here interviewing Deborah about her mission trip, and wherever you can help, um, just go to Facebook. On Facebook, go to GoFundMe, Ghana and Benin Mission, and you can help us by there. Or you can email. Get on Facebook, look for Deborah's Facebook page or the Benin and Ghana Mission, and email us and say, "Hey, I'm willing to help. I'm willing to help." And we are not taking it for us, but we want to help less fortunate people.
And it's all about sharing, sharing it with someone else. You know, if you and I always say, it's not everybody have money, not everybody have, but whatever you can do, you do it. So if you can't, then you share it with somebody else. Say that person might donate, just pass the word around, and just continue doing that. And I am so grateful today for you, Phyllis, for being my co-host, my host and co-host and everything. It's
Thank
such
you.
a pleasure that I could talk about something that's dear to my heart. Dear to me, helping those kids, because I love you guys out there. All the young ladies who I spoke to, hey, I still got your back. They hear my story, and they too have their stories. So the thing about it is, we just want to help. And you're going to see a lot more of me talking about the Banning Mission Trip. You'll see a lot more of me showing little excerpts of it. I have interviews with different people, members from the mission trip. But this is not what my show is about. My show is about sharing people's story. Because of this, because of what I'm doing, this is my story. This is what we can do, because yes, I came from humble beginnings. Yes, I was abused as a child. Yes, I was, all these stuff, abusive marriages, whatever, the hurts in my life. But the thing about it is, I can still do something for someone else, do something to help someone else, be successful in anything I want to do. So I want to say thank you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for coming on. And remember, after the show is done, still take it, share it. Share it with people around the world so they can hear the story. We may have other stories coming on, because this is not just only the path of me walking through Benning, walking through, but the people I met on that road, on that path, who are today dear friends in my life, who are today family to me, and I'm family to them in Africa. And I'm not going to just stay in Benin and Ghana. Eventually, we get that project done, we move on to something else. But that's it. For right now, we are in Benin, we are in Ghana, and just continue supporting us, continue to go out there and spread the word. And you too, one of the things I would leave with you. You see somebody on the street who has a homeless, don't fling $1 at them. Ask them how they are going. Ask them, look at them in their face and say, what can I do to help you? We have mental health people out there. What can I do to help you? Or take a meal to them, or do something, or your neighbor, take a meal to them. It's we don't know what people are going through. Just go out there and help. And that will make me happy if you post on my page and say, hey, Deborah, today I didn't have the money, but I took a meal to someone else who needed it. Or I took a meal to that homeless person on the street. Or I took a meal to that family who needed something. Or I bought books for this family to school to educate these kids. That would be great for me, right? That would be the joy in my heart to know that you can post me on Facebook and say, hey, I did this. And trust me, I will celebrate you. So I want to say, Phyllis, we can really close off, but thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for being that sister, for being that best friend, that being that auntie to my kids. And I have, many other sisters who I know, but just being a phenomenal woman. And for your kids, continue to bless them, continue to grow them, continue to enrich them in whatever they do.
And thank you for having me to co-host the show. I have learned also, like you, who watching by Facebook, I learned some things that I didn't know. So it's a pleasure, and I thank you for this opportunity.
Okay, so we're gonna say good night, good morning, and some I'm saying night. I'm still in. Trust me, I'm still on that time zone, so don't worry. So good afternoon. I'm still on the time zone. I'm still adjusted to the time zone. So good afternoon, and thank you again for the coming on and being faithful guests, faithful commenters, faithful everything, faithful everyone who's
Yes.
watching the show. I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you guys for continuing to supporting us and helping us grow, help us get more like, help us get more out there, and so that we can grow in all our missions that we're about to do. I say thank you and goodbye
Thank
and
you and
good
goodbye.
afternoon.